What's up guys and welcome back to Stutter Resolutions, and today we'll talk about Call of Duty Warzone and its latest updates. Now as you can see, I'm in a game right now at this very moment and I'm doing about 135 as the max FPS that I'm doing inside this game currently right now at this very moment. Now I'm going to show you the best settings you can use right now at this very moment with all the latest updates for Call of Duty Warzone so you can achieve the best frames in this game. Now please listen to me. Just hear me out, ladies and gentlemen. This can increase your FPS by 30 to 40% and make your game run smoother, better, and just in general have a smoother gameplay experience. As you can see, I just hit 136 FPS as a max frame rate. Now, I'm going to press escape and I'm going to go to this little gear icon over here, go to graphics, and I'm going to show you what I'm using. So I go quality, Nvidia DLSS, I have it at balance, 80% over here, off, 90%, and normal, okay? So I just want to show you something. If I press escape and I go over here and let's just say I inspect my gun, alright? I do about 120 FPS, 116 is the lowest, and I go back to 130 and above right now at this very moment. And let's just go to my pistol and I'll inspect my pistol. I go to 130, 127, 129, 124, 122 was the lowest I went to over here. And there I'm almost doing 140 FPS while just standing here looking at my weapons. Now something that I want to mention is this here, and please ladies and gentlemen, all you're going to need to do is follow my guidelines for this video from the beginning to the end, and I can tell you right now that you'll get an increase in FPS and a smoother gameplay experience. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so I'm going to press the Windows key and I'm going to open up my CCTV camera that runs for my house outside, right? So I'm going to open it up, I'm going to log into it, and then I'm just going to do this as quick as possible, which is basically move it so you guys can't see where the fuck I live. Alright, so I'm just going to open this up and I'm just going to let it run. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to now run all my cameras, okay? So I'm going to enable them quickly. So I'm going to run my front gate. I'm going to run the front garage. I'm going to run the parking area. And I'm going to run the back gate, okay? So I'm running them right now at this very moment. And as you can see, I'm now doing 70 to 80 frames a second, 99. Okay, here we go. Let's start doing stuff with my gun. I'm doing, there we go. It's hitting 60, under 60 frames. Okay, let me inspect my gun. I inspect my gun. 80, ladies and gentlemen, 70, 80, 85. Let me inspect my pistol quickly. Let's just go for it. 70, 69, 66, 80. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very important to not have background apps running in the background. Please don't. As you can see, there's my camera system running and it's live right now. So, for the love of fuck, ladies and gentlemen, if you want the best settings for this game, all you're going to need to do is follow my guidelines. Follow from the beginning to the end. I'm going to show you what is the best settings to run in this game right now at this very moment, and what you're going to need to do all with your windows to get the best frames out of this game and have a competitive advantage over your enemies. Alright ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into this video. Let me show you the best settings that you can use right now at this very moment for the latest updates. Alright ladies and gentlemen, as you can see I'm on my desktop right now, and I highly recommend you quit out of your game and you follow my steps as is from the beginning to the end of my video, and I can promise you, you will have a smooth gameplay experience and increase FPS. And if this video helped you, smash that motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here for the latest season that's going to come out for season 2. I will be doing an FPS boost guide video. Now ladies and gentlemen, what's very important is this over here. My background image that's running right now that is moving and it looks cool and all that kind of nonsense. Whatever. You can do this if you're not playing the game, okay? But I highly recommend that you actually go ahead and quit out of the program that you're using to have a moving background image. I'm using Wallpaper Engine through Steam. You can go ahead and purchase it. Now, a lot of people say that you can just pause the background image and it will then stop using the VRAM usage, your RAM usage, your CPU usage, and just in general to stop using components of your machine. Now, for me as a personal user and doing these videos and doing research, I highly recommend that you just go ahead and close it. So you right click on Wallpaper Engine and quit it and have a stock image as a desktop image. Please go ahead and do that. Please go ahead and do that. It is one of the most important things to go ahead and do is find out what is all running on your desktop in the background that is using VRAM usage, RAM usage, and CPU usage. So it's basically using your GPU, your RAM, and your CPU. You don't want it to do that. You will get less frames in Warzone. People are complaining about the FPS in Warzone and how shit it runs. Now, doing all these steps that I'm about to show you, your game will run much, much better. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. If you are playing Call of Duty Warzone through Steam, then it's okay to keep Steam open. If you're running the game through Battle.net, please don't have Steam open and EA Games and Riot Games and all those things open in the background while you are playing your game. So please go ahead and just end the tasks. End all tasks. Please go ahead and do so. It's very important to end everything. Wherever you are playing your game through, let's say you're playing it through Steam, then obviously Steam should be open. If you're playing it through Battle.net, you can run Battle.net. Once you launch the game, it can actually close and then it won't run in the background. Now, I run Call of Duty Warzone through Battle.net itself. Now, there's something that you can do if you're running it through Battle.net. You go to Battle.net settings over here and you come inside here and you go here. On game launch, you say exit Battle.net completely. So once you press the play button, Battle.net will then close in the background, not using resources like your RAM and your GPU and your CPU. Please go ahead and do this. It's a very important step depending on where you play your game through. Especially if you're playing it through Battle.net, then you can go ahead and take this step over here, go to settings, and then have this like this, and you should be good to go. And then just say done over here, and you should be good to go. You just press play, and then Battle.net will close and not run in the background. Right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do right now as you're watching this video. Please go ahead and go to the search button over here, type in settings, just like this, and then press enter, or just go to the start button, go to this little gear icon over here that says settings, and open this up, and then go to update and security. Click on this and click on check for updates. I just clicked on check for updates, and at this very moment, there's a new update for my Windows, currently at this very moment, and it's installing. Okay, I highly recommend you go ahead and do this. It plays a very big role on not just your gameplay and stuff like that, but it plays a very big role on your machine. If your machine's not up to date, your games aren't going to run well. And it's not just Call of Duty, the rest of your games is going to run like dog shit as well. Okay, please go ahead and update your Windows. It doesn't matter if it's a Windows 10 machine or a Windows 11 machine. It doesn't matter what operating system you are using, please keep it up to date. Right, from here you're going to go to the home button and you're going to come over here where it says privacy, scroll all the way down and come to where it says background apps. Now if you're a Windows 10 user like me, all you're going to need to do is go from on to off, and then all of these programs won't run in the background using resources like your RAM, your CPU, and VRAM usage. You don't want anything to run in the background while you're playing Warzone. Warzone is an unoptimized game and runs like dog shit, so the more things you do in Windows to not let stuff run in the background, the more frames you'll get and the better your gameplay experience will be in Warzone. There's too many people complaining about Warzone's experience and how they feel about playing the fucked up game in general because Activision smokes a bunch of crack. Anyways, so this is something that I highly recommend you go ahead and do. If you're a Windows 11 user, you're going to have to individually disable these things. I'm not going to show you how to do that, otherwise I'm going to make this video too long, but just go ahead and Google it and disable the background apps. Please go ahead and do so if you're a Windows 11 user. From here, you're going to go to home and you're going to come to gaming over here and then come to game mode and make sure the game mode is turned on. At this very moment, if you have nothing running in the background and you have all your shit shut down and nothing's running in the background, I highly recommend putting game mode on and then come to graphics settings over here and have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling turned on right now at this very moment for Call of Duty. Ladies and gentlemen, it helps a lot with stuttering and input lag, just in general when it comes to Call of Duty. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, so the next step I recommend you go ahead and do is make sure that you have the latest graphics card drivers on your machine right now at this very moment. I am an Nvidia user, so right now at this very moment, I'm running the 546.33 version of the Nvidia graphics card drivers. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do know that if you are running the latest graphics card drivers, some people roll back the driver to like 1 or 2 or 3 back and they get more frames out of their game. You can go ahead and try that out. If it does work for you, go ahead and do that. That is your own personal preference. I'm not going to tell you what to do here, but if you roll back drivers, some people are getting away with more frames by rolling back their drivers. Okay, this is something I want to get out there and people should know this. Okay, if you are running the latest graphics card drivers and you don't see any FPS loss or anything like that, then I highly recommend being on the latest driver. Just make sure that you're on the latest graphics card driver at this very moment. And if you feel that this latest graphics card driver is giving you problems, then roll it back once or twice or 3 times. A lot of people get away with more frames by rolling their drivers back. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, so the next step I recommend you go ahead and do, and it plays a very big role on your Windows machine itself, is this over here. You're going to come to the search button over here and type in CMD, and then you're going to come to the command prompt, right click on it, say run as administrator, and then say yes to the command prompt. Your screen will go black, don't worry about that. But then this box over here will pop up, and it will come up on your screen. You're going to type in SFC spacebar / scan now, one word, and then press enter. And once you press enter, this will actually go through your entire machine. It doesn't matter how many drives you have in your machine. It could be 1 drive, 2 drives, 10 drives, it doesn't matter. It will scan through all your drives and find out if you have any corrupt files on your Windows machine that is maybe corrupting your files, your game files, your Windows files, and just in general making your games run like dog shit. Now this will automatically fix those errors for you. Please go ahead and do this. I don't care if you did this yesterday, do it yet again. It's very important to go ahead and do this on a regular basis to find out if you have corrupt files. Please go ahead and do so. It's a command prompt. It's very easy to do. You're just going to press enter, wait it out, go make some coffee, go take a piss, go take a slash, whatever the case might be. Just get this over and done with. It's very important that you go ahead and do this. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, and it plays a very big role on your game itself, and it can actually increase performance in your game, FPS, stutter problems, and a lot of things that it can fix by just coming inside the config file and tweaking a couple of things. Alright, you're going to come to your file explorer like this, go to your documents folder, go to Call of Duty, go to players, and come to this file over here that says options4.cod23. Now, as you can see, mine is a notepad file, and I just double click and it will open up with notepad. If you are one of those people that, I don't know, you don't have this installed or some shit, just right click on it and then go with open with, make sure it says notepad, say always open with this application, say okay, and then open this up big, and you're going to come to this one over here, which is the most important thing inside this config file. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the most important one that you're going to need to be changing, and it's literally the only thing that you need to change inside here for now to get a better gameplay experience. Alright, now I've tested this on multiple machines, on Ryzen machines, AMD basically, and then my machine, which is an Intel machine. Now I've got an 8-core 8-thread CPU, it's a 9700K, water-cooled and overclocked. Now the water-cooled part and the overclocked part has nothing to do with what I put inside here, okay? I have an 8-core, 8-thread CPU. So I put my total cores inside here, which is 8, okay? Not my threads, my total cores that I have of my CPU, which is 8. Now, as you can see here, the lowest value is 1 and the highest value is 16. Now, if you do have a 24 core from Ryzen or 24 core from Intel, please do not put 24 inside here like this. Please do not do this. It will not work because the highest value you can put inside here is 16. So if you do have a 24 core machine, I highly recommend that you put 16 inside here because that's the highest value that it can take. Alright, and your game will run smooth as butter, and it will actually increase FPS by 20 to 30% just by changing the renderer work account in the config file if you haven't done this already. Now, when it comes to Ryzen and AMD machines, it plays a little bit different and it works a little bit weird when it comes to this. Okay, so let's just make an example. Let's make an example that you have a 12 core Ryzen CPU. Okay, you have a 12 core and I don't know, maybe 6 threads, or maybe a 12 core 12 thread, right? Now, obviously, like I said, it depends on your cores, not your threads. So let's say you got a 12 core Ryzen. Try 12, and then obviously you just go over here to save it. You click on the save button, try 12, launch your game, and then see the frames that you're doing. If you're doing good enough frames, leave it as is, okay? Your total. But if you are seeing a significantly decrease in FPS, then go ahead and half your cores inside here then. Half your cores of your Ryzen CPU. Go ahead and put it on 6, and then go over here to the file, go to save, and then just save it, and then see if you do more FPS. If you do more FPS with halving your cores when it comes to Ryzen, please leave a like, leave a comment down below that half works or that total works, so the rest of the community that's watching this video would understand that, okay, maybe I should then put my total cores because this guy's saying he's Ryzen CPU. And please, for the love of fuck, smash the fucking like button. It takes a lot of time and dedication making these videos and finding out the best settings for you guys to run this game correctly, because Warzone is a shit show and the developers don't give a fuck about you, me, or the gaming community in general. They're just out there to make money out of people by releasing battle passes and gun skins and character skins and shit like that. I'm out here helping you as best I can. So all you can do is smash that like button, leave a comment down below, or hit a super thanks on my YouTube channel. There's literally a super thanks button on my YouTube channel. It will mean a lot to me, but honestly will. Ladies and gentlemen, please leave a comment down below of what Ryzen CPU you are running, basically the cores and the thread that it's running, and then what you went to go ahead and put inside here. Please go ahead and do so. Let's just say, for instance, you have an 8-core Ryzen CPU, okay? And you put 8 here, and that is the best way to run it, is running it at 8, not at 4, because that's half of 8. Let's just say you put 4 there, and you go launch your game again, you do less frames, and then you come back here, and you put in 8, and it runs even better, and it runs the way it should. Then leave a comment down below of the Ryzen CPU that you're running, okay? Please go ahead and do that. It will help the community out, and it will help the rest of the people out as well that's watching this video. All right, something I want to point out is if you got a newer generation Intel CPU, you get E-cores and you get performance cores. I highly recommend putting your performance cores inside here and not your total. All right, put your performance cores inside here when it comes to newer Intel CPUs, and that will run perfectly fine. So I'm going to put mine back on 8, and I just click over here, and I click save, and now it's saved to my config file itself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, so the next step would be your Nvidia control panel settings. If you are an Nvidia user like me, you're just going to right-click on your desktop, go to Nvidia control panel, or just go to the search button and type in Nvidia control panel, and then click on it. Now, once Nvidia control panel is opened, it's going to look like this, and you're going to come to adjust image settings with preview, and you're going to come inside here. Make sure that this one is selected, not that one, not this one. You're going to go to use the advanced 3D image settings and click on take me there. Now basically it's just going to take you to manage 3D settings, and it's going to take you inside here. Now I'm going to go over this, and I'm just going to point out a few things that I highly recommend that you go ahead and change. All right, so the first thing would be this one over here. You're going to leave this off, application controlled, this one off, gamma correction on, and then obviously this one application controlled as well. This off, CUDA GPUs, all right? You click on this, and then you go ahead and select your dedicated graphics card and say, okay. You're going to come to this one over here where it says System Fallback Policy. You're going to click on Prefer System Fallback. DSR Factors, you're going to skip over this and put this on off. You're going to put Low Latency Mode on or on Ultra. If you only have the Ultra option, please go ahead and put it on Ultra. Right now at this very moment, there's a lot of people saying that you should rather put this off. Now, if you do more frames and you get less stuttering in your game, go ahead and put it off, because then it does depend on the machine that you're running. Every single person runs a different type of machine, because there's low latency settings in Call of Duty as well that you can go ahead and change to make the game run better, okay? So if you have to turn this off and your game runs better with it off, then turn it off. Right now for me at this very moment, I leave mine on and it runs perfectly fine, all right? Max frame rate, you're going to leave this off. This one over here where it says multi-frame sampling AA, please go ahead and put this off as well. OpenGL, GDI, compatibility, where it says auto, you're going to click on this, and you're going to go to prefer performance, and then you're going to scroll down. You're going to come to your Nvidia graphics card, and you're going to select your graphics card inside here. Come to this one over here where it says power management mode, and select prefer maximum performance. All right. Shader cache, you're going to put this on 100 gigs. This can actually help with stuttering and input latency. Please go ahead and put this on 100 gigs. The quality tab here, over here, please go ahead and put this on high performance. Now, a lot of people do say that it makes the game look worse. It actually does not, okay? If this makes your game look worse, then go back to performance. Do not push to that quality or high quality. Do not do that. You can try quality out, but then what's the point of you even watching an FPS boost guide video in the first place? Please do not put this at quality. Put it at high performance. There is no visual difference. You saw how my game looks in the beginning of the game. I had it at high performance, okay? You're going to have this one on, all right, and you're going to have this one on as well where it says threaded optimization. Please go ahead and apply these settings by clicking the apply button. Your screen might flash a couple of times. Don't worry about that. It's just applying your settings to your Nvidia control panel. Now, once you're done with this, you're going to come to the config surround and physics, and this is what your physics is handled. Your GPU handles the physics of your machine itself, and as you can see, I have multiple screens over here, and there's my dedicated graphics card I'm running, and you're going to select your dedicated graphics card inside here. Please do not select CPU. Please do not select auto select. Select your dedicated graphics card and say apply. I can't say apply because I already have it selected, but please go ahead and select your graphics card. From here, you're going to go to adjust desktop color settings. And as you can see, I have multiple monitors. I have one screen that's dedicated to my games. And then I have multiple screens that's dedicated to my YouTube and my Discord. All right. Now you're going to go to your main screen that you're playing your game on. You're going to come to 50% on the brightness over here. Please do not play around with this over here. Rather play around with the brightness in the game than what you do over here. Go to the contrast, put it at 65 as a sweet spot right now for all games at this very moment. You're going to come over here where it says digital vibrance, go to the image 3 and pull this all the way down to 0. You'll see your screen go black and white. Now, when you pull this up to about 50%, which is Windows' default settings, you'll see that your screen looks washed out. Now, you don't want that. You want to push this up. So let's just say we push this up to about 65%, and you feel that this looks perfectly fine for you, and it's not hurting your eyes or anything like that, then leave it like this and go ahead and apply it. Now, if you want more digital vibrance out of your machine, you go to 75. You're just going to keep pushing it up. You're going to put it into 85 if you don't feel that's correct and you feel this is much better. If this is your sweet spot, go ahead and do that. Mine is 95. I have 6/6 vision, so this can't hurt my eyes if I leave it at 95%. Now, I highly recommend you go ahead and change this, and the digital vibrance in the game of Call of Duty Warzone will look much, much better, and all games in general will pop in general as well. They will look much, much better. Go ahead and apply these settings. Yet again, your screen might flash a couple of times. Don't worry, it's just applying the Nvidia control panel settings onto your machine. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the game. Let me show you the best settings you can run right now at this very moment for the latest update. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we jump straight into the game settings, I just want to give a shout out to my sponsor for today, Sense Quality. Guys, there will be a link in the description down below with an affiliate link with my name in it for software and hardware solutions. You can go ahead and click on their webpage. They work with multiple professional Call of Duty players. They even worked with Swag himself. So if you want to go ahead and basically just contact them or ask them for the best rigs and what would be the best rigs to pair up with, CPU wise, GPU wise, RAM wise, whatever you are having problems with right now. They have a Discord channel, they have services, they have packages of how they can help you out. They literally here to help you out as much as I'm trying to help you out. I cannot physically one by one help you guys out. I could do it with my videos, yes, but one by one I cannot sit in a Discord channel and help you guys out one by one. Thanks to Sense Quality for sponsoring this video today. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is my sponsor, and the reason why I took on the sponsor is they actually are here to help out the community. They are not like Call of Duty developers that smoke crack and stuff like that and that do not want to help. This sponsor will actually help you out as best they can to the best of their ability. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the display tab right now, and there are 4 options inside here. Now, a lot of people don't understand this. If you play your game in windowed mode, as you can see at the bottom right corner, right there, it uses less VRAM. So I would recommend for people out there that's on a budget gaming graphics card or just in general a budget gaming machine, you can run this game in windowed mode. It will actually increase your FPS and make your games run better. I have friends with lower end machines and they actually use windowed mode. So if you are one of those users, use it. No one's going to judge you. No one knows what you are running, no one knows how you are playing your game, as long as your game feels smooth, responsive, and your game runs perfectly fine, and your game looks good, then it doesn't really matter what you choose inside here. Now, full screen exclusive is apparently, I'm going to put that in inverted quotes, is apparently if you are playing competitive. I don't know why people are saying that this is an option if you are playing competitively, because if I put this in full screen borderless, it just means that I can go to my other screens. I have multiple monitors, I have one on my right hand side and one on my left hand side. Now, I play competitively in full screen borderless. You can play competitively in any of these. Now, the reason why people are saying that it's competitive play for full screen exclusive is because you get less input latency. Now, for me personally, in my own experience, this is my own experience, ladies and gentlemen, your own personal preference, yeah, when I run full screen borderless, I do not experience anything, right? If I run it with this, I don't experience anything. If I run it with windowed, I don't even experience anything either. When I run that, I don't experience anything either. So this is literally your own personal preference on what you're going to choose inside here. Now, yes, there are professional Call of Duty players that still play in full screen borderless because they have multiple screens. They are professional players and they stream, so they have multiple monitors set up to their machine. So obviously they're not going to play in full screen exclusive. So it's highly debatable when people say that you need to run this in full screen exclusive to have a competitive advantage or less input latency and shit like that. Right now at this very moment, that is absolute bullshit and it's debatable. I would like to know, like, in general, who's gonna outsmart people. That's gonna say, like, no, this is better, 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 no, this is better. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to stay on this topic too long, but ladies and gentlemen, right now at this very moment, it does not matter if you run this, or any of these at this very moment. I run mine at full screen borderless because I have multiple screens. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've got one screen, one monitor, one display, one, literally starting to sound like Eminem, like, if you only go one shot, now I'm like, what the fuck? Anyways, just go with full screen exclusive. If you've got one display, one monitor, or one just unit as itself, just go with full screen exclusive. If you have multiple screens, go with full screen borderless because it's easier to tab out and into the game. I highly recommend you choose wisely when it comes to this because of your specific setup. All right, let's jump straight to the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this one over here, display gamma, obviously mine is at 2.4 because this is the system I'm running. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the system I am running currently. And like I said before earlier on, is with the full screen borderless, full screen exclusive. It doesn't matter. Right now, it doesn't matter. Don't listen to people that says that you need to put it at full screen exclusive. If you have one monitor, it will make sense. If you have multiple monitors, it will not make sense. Okay? It's common fucking knowledge. Just use your brain. Use your eyes. Like, literally, it tells you on the right-hand side what these settings do. Okay, like, people are like, literally, like, here's a spoon and you're being fed. So just listen, just follow my steps and you'll be good to go. And smash the motherfucking like button. There's so many people that benefit out of my videos that don't leave a fucking like or don't leave a comment. It's actually ridiculous. I'm helping the community as best I can, as much as I can, with the knowledge that I know with Call of Duty for playing this for fucking multiple years. Alright, so just follow my guidelines and you should be good to go. And smash that motherfucking like button. Leave feedback down below. Say thank you. Or, hey, this is what I'm running right now with this specific machine. And this is the frames I'm doing. Thank you for the video. Shit like that. It means a lot. Honestly, just leave a fucking comment. I know a lot of people are lazy and they don't want to type out shit and they don't even want to click the like button. Holy fuck, you clicked on my video. At least click on the like button if it worked for you. Anyways, alright, from here, like I said, 2.4 is for TVs and 2.2 is for monitors, displays, and gaming screens. All right. Right. Now, at this very moment, brightness is something I just want to just mention. If you go onto brightness, please change it from 50% to either 55 or 60%. Because some characters in this game you cannot see because they are super dark, especially like the ghost characters. There's multiple characters. I can't just mention ghosts. There's multiple characters out there that's completely dark. Like the Nork guy and all that shit, just in general. There's so many characters that's super dark and you can't see them in dark corners. So put it at 55% or at least at 60%. Do not leave it at its defaults, which is 50%. All right. This one over here, constant mouse to game window. Now, you'll have this on if you have multiple screens and you only want to focus on this screen that you're on right now, your main screen where your game's on. You're going to turn this on. If you want to go to your other screens while you're playing the game, turn it off. All right. Nvidia reflex low latency. This plays a very big role on this game. Right now for Season 1 in Warzone. Ladies and gentlemen, Nvidia reflex low latency. This plays a very big role on the game itself. Now, on the right hand side, you can actually read what the fuck that says. Open your eyeballs and read. I'm very sure that I do not need to make this video in Braille. Honestly, like for the love of fuck, I do not need to make this video in Braille. Okay, if you are CPU bound or GPU bound, it's going to depend on what you select inside here. Now, I am not CPU bound, I am not GPU bound. I put mine on plus boost. I run a 9700K, an RTX 2060 OC, 16 gigs of RAM. All of those components have been overclocked, different timings on my RAM, my CPU's been overclocked, water cooling block, all that fancy nice things. Yes, I don't own the best of computers, but it runs this game really fucking well, alright? Because of the tweakings and settings I change inside this game. So you're gonna just need to do the settings that I change to your personal settings and you will be good to go and your game will run perfectly fine. Okay, on plus boost for me runs perfectly fine. You can try on, just do not turn this the fuck off. If you turn this off, your game's gonna run like dog shit, physical dog shit, and you're gonna want to throw your PC out your fucking window. So don't do that, either on or on plus boost. Right now at this very moment, for me and most people out there, it's gonna be on plus boost. All right, eco mode preset. Now, I highly recommend you go ahead and put this on custom. Do not put this on any of these because you're just going to irritate yourself by looking at your frames and it's stuck at like 60 or 120 or the refresh rate of your monitor. Please just leave it at custom. VSync you are going to only turn on if you're getting screen tearing in your game. Right? It says gameplay. So if you get screen tearing while you are playing your game, you're obviously going to turn it on. So 100%. 100% will cap it to the refresh rate of your monitor. So 60, 120, 240, whatever the fucking hertz your monitor is, it will cap it to that refresh rate, right? Now, something I just want to mention is this. If you turn this off, right? The only reason why you would turn it off and leave both of these off is if you don't get screen tearing whatsoever. You don't get it in the menus, you don't get it in the gameplay. I don't, so both of mine are off, right? Let's go over this one over here. Custom frame rate limit. A lot of people say that you need to go to custom and come here and then change these. So gameplay at the max, menus at, I don't know, people saying like you need to put this, I'm going to type it in. So let's say 120, right? That's my menus. And then autofocus, I put on like 30, like that. People are saying this is how you should run it. Now, if you copy these settings, you can go ahead and do so at your own personal preference. I don't need to do this. I've been running mine at 300 completely fine on unlimited like that, and my game runs perfectly fine. So literally it's your own personal preference yet again, but like I said, put it on unlimited. Your machine is not magically gonna blow up into flames. It's not just gonna get up and walk out your front door because you put this onto unlimited. For the love of fuck, people just need to understand this. Please, just have common knowledge as well. Like, I know people that watch my video, some people are very new to PCs and stuff like that, but for the love of fuck, go do research. Understand why people put this on unlimited, and understand why people put it on custom. People that put this on custom is afraid of breaking their GPU. I've never seen a GPU jump out of its case and run out the front door because it's getting too hot, or it's being used too much. I've never seen that before. I would like to be proved wrong one day, where I'm wrong on this. Anyways, unlimited, this is where you're going to keep it, and I highly recommend that you do the exact same thing. This one over here, focus mode. This is if you have multiple screens. Now, if you put this all the way to 100% and you apply it, your screen, let's say you have one screen, your other screen will go completely black and it will only focus on the main screen that you have your Call of Duty on. Now, if you have multiple screens like me, both my screens just went completely black. Now, if I put it at 0 and I apply it, I can see on both my screens now. So, this is how this focus mode works. It's a new feature in Call of Duty, not really new, but it's new right now at this very moment, and it's actually a cool feature for people with multiple monitors, and they only want to focus on one screen. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and obviously I have mine custom, obviously I have this at 100%, and then obviously I have this on. Right now at this very moment. Now, a lot of people have debated about this, saying that you need to put this off, that it's highly recommended to put off. Now, to me, in my own personal preference, I run this on, and it runs perfectly fine. The reason why it runs on, and I have it on, and it runs perfectly fine, is because I have this upscaling over here. This is how I play my game, okay? At ultra quality, off, 90%, and then this I put at normal, and I apply these settings. This is how I run my game. Okay, now it's going to depend on your machine what upscaling you are going to be using inside here, because there's multiple of them to be using for Warzone. Now I'm going to show you a couple of them that I recommend you should be running. If you're running a decent machine, you're going to run these. You're going to run Intel. This is the upscaling I'm running. Or you're going to run Nvidia DLSS. I know a lot of people that has Nvidia cards, that has RTX ray tracing, they run Nvidia DLSS. Then they run it at balanced, which is very good, and at 80% over here, or quality. You can also choose performance, just do not choose ultra performance. You're going to tear out your own fucking eyes, and it's going to be super bad. Just do not select this. Performance is okay. I don't really recommend it, but it's okay if you need extra frames in your game. balance would be the perfect spot to run this at. Okay, 90% here as well. Now, Nvidia image scaling, you're going to go to ultra quality 5 and then 90% here as well yet again. Then a lot of people use AMD FSR 1.0 and AMD FSR 2.1. Now before I get into these two over here, right, for people out there that really needs the frames and they're running lower end machines, let's go over Fidelity FX Cache. Fidelity FX Cache makes your game look really sharp, and a lot of people prefer this. A lot of people run Fidelity FX Cache today still. Since literally the Warzone was released, people were using Fidelity FX Cache to get more frames out of their game, and also the strength of the game, and to see your enemies easier, and your game also looks really good. Now, the strength is your own personal preference. Turn this the fuck off. This is going to be debatable, okay? When you have this on Fidelity FX Cache, I would highly recommend you put this at 75, like this. You can literally just type it in. Or you put this at 65, like that, and you apply it. Now, if you have a GPU with more than 6 gigs of VRAM, you're going to push this up to 85, like that. Run it like this if you have more than 6 gigs of VRAM and it's a newer generation graphics card coming from Nvidia or AMD. Alright? Please go ahead and do so. If you can, and it can run it perfectly fine, use 90 like me. You should be perfectly fine with this, and make sure that this one is turned the fuck off. And then obviously have this at normal. Okay? Now, let's go over this two over here. We're going to skip this one because this one makes me want to just puke in general. It's a fucking bullshit option. Now, AMD FSR 1.0. Quality, if your machine can handle it. Okay? If your machine can't handle quality that well, you're going to go with balance. Just please do not go with performance. You're going to go with balance if you are struggling with this game's FPS and you're running a budget gaming machine or a budget gaming laptop. Go with balance over here. Off over here, this you're going to put at 65. That's what I recommend if you are running a machine like this and using this option. Off over here, this one at low now. Your game won't look much different than normal to low. But if your machine can handle normal, go with normal. But if it can't handle normal, go with low, and your game will still look exactly the same as normal. There's not much difference between low and normal. Not a lot of difference. I have tested this myself multiple times to see if there's a huge difference. There is not a huge difference. Okay, now I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to go to AMD FSR 2.1. A lot of people do use this as well. Now, yet again, you are going to use quality or balance. Do not select performance. You're going to puke yourself. Don't puke on your keyboard and your mouse by selecting this option. Please don't. Just go with balance or quality. If your machine can handle it, and most people, when it comes to AMD FSR, they won't even put it at ultra quality. They'll leave it at quality, leave this completely the fuck off. 65 or 75 here. Those are the two options I will give you with AMD options. Now, yet again, when you're using AMD, it doesn't mean you need an AMD graphics card. You can run this with an Nvidia graphics cards as well. Okay? You can run it perfectly fine. Scroll down and make sure that this is at low and you should be good to go. Now, if your machine can, your GPU is capable of doing it, it's capable of running it, run it at normal. That's what I recommend. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight to the next steps in this quality tab that you're going to need to change and have a competitive advantage over your enemies and have a smoother gameplay experience and more FPS in general. Tester filter anisotropic, I would highly recommend you go ahead and put this at low. You do not need this. Depth of field, you do not need to play with this on. It's a multiplayer fucking game. Turn this the fuck off. Let's all say it together. Turn it the fuck off, turn it the fuck off, turn it the fuck off. Why are you playing this if it's a multiplayer game? I would understand if you use this for single player. Then I would understand. Turn it the fuck off, okay? Detail quality level, low, okay? This one over here, particle resolution, very low. You do not need to see the particles in this fucking game. That's like asking someone, yo, dude, did you see that atom just fly past? Please, for the love of fuck, turn this to very low. You do not need this. It's an FPS hogger, and you're going to see your machine struggling. Bullet impacts, you can turn this on. It has no impact on your GPU or your CPU. It literally states on the right hand side low on both of them. So turn it on. This one over here, the effects, you do not need to see that much. Really, you do not. If you're struggling with FPS, turn it off. If you are not struggling with FPS, obviously, then you can go ahead and turn it on. Shader quality, low. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something I just want to point out is this. A lot of people have left me comments in my comment section down below, and I literally went to go ahead and just read through them. A lot of people say that, no, I have to put this at medium, no, I have to put this at low, because this doesn't look right. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. Turn it the fuck to low and leave it at low, because they look exactly the same. I've tested this multiple times. Depending on the upscaling you're using, you can have this at low. It won't impact how your game looks. On-demand texture streaming, off, always off, leave it the fuck off, don't touch this, alright? Local texture streaming quality is something I want to point out when it's coming to Warzone. Now, Warzone struggles to play on multiple machines, high-end, medium-end, low-end, all the way to a NASA fucking machine that can launch nuclear missiles, right? This is something I want to point out. You can run this at normal if your machine can handle it. Most case scenarios, if you're running a mid-tier machine to a low-tier machine, you're going to put this to low. If you're running a 4090 or a very high-end GPU and a high-end CPU and very high-end RAM, then I would select normal over here. The game actually looks much better. Please go ahead and do that if you want more out of your machine and your game, if you're running really good components, all right? I don't just make videos for people with low-end machines, but for people with high-end machines as well. This is a very good option if you're running a very high-end machine. But for me, I'm not running a very high-end machine. It doesn't affect me. So leave it at low, and you should also leave it at low, depending on what machine you're running. If you're running something really high-end, go with normal. All right, this shadow and lighting plays a huge impact on how your game performs, and it only hogs FPS. That's all it does. And you're not going to see visual difference. You do not want to see it in any ways. So shadow quality, low. Screen space, shadows, low. Ambient occlusion, off, always off, leave it the fuck off, thank you. Screen space, reflections, off. You do not need to see the reflections in this fucking game. Turn it the fuck off. It's a multiplayer game. Turn it the fuck off. All right, this one over here, reflect. Now, it's yet again to do with these over here. Turn it to low. All right, scroll down and come to tessellation. Tessellation, you are going to turn off. It's a huge FPS hogger, massively FPS hogger. If you turn this to near or all, you do not need them at all. You can turn it off. Your game will look exactly the same. Turn it the fuck off. Volumetric quality, low. Physics quality, you do not need to see the physics in the fucking game. Turn it to low. Weather grid volumes and water quality is something I would love to remove from my PC somehow. I'm somehow going to find out how to remove these two options, to be honest with you. Because it doesn't even need to be in this game right now. It's an FPS hogger, and it makes your machine run like dog shit. Especially if this game is unoptimized, number one, and now you start putting things on high, and you start putting these things on. No, turn this the fuck off, turn this the fuck off, and done. After you apply these settings, we're going to go to the view tab over here, and you can go ahead and copy my settings as is. Inverted flash is a very good thing to go ahead and switch on if you do not want to, I don't know, have like your room turn entirely white when you get flashbang. Turn it on, your screen will go black instead. You can copy my settings as is in here, but yet again, view is your own personal preference. All right, let's jump over something that's very important in this game, is this over here. You're going to come to interface, and you're going to come inside here. You're going to come to color customization and go to custom. Choose your own personal color for your character, your team, the same color as your party. Please go ahead and do that. And the enemy is your own personal preference on what color you're going to choose inside here. I have minus magenta pink, and nothing in this game is fucking pink. It's literally nothing in this game is pink unless it's gun skins. Okay? Unless it's Nicki Minaj or it's gun skins. There isn't stuff, buildings and shit like that. That's pink. It's all green and gray, and you know how the colors look in Warzone. You can go ahead and then come down all the way to here where it says color filter. Put this at filter 2, both 100%, and you should be good to go. Now, the most important step that you're going to need to take to apply all of these settings I just showed you now to your own personal preference that you just set it to now for your specific machine, you're going to need to come and do this. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to come to the display tab, and you're going to come to restart shader preloading. You're going to click on this and say restart. The only way for those settings I just showed you to change, to apply to your machine, is by clicking the restart button, then quit out of your game if you're playing this through Battle.net or Steam, then relaunch the game through Battle.net or Steam, and at the top left corner here, it's going to say installing shaders, let it finish. Now, sometimes it does take a little while. It will stay on 0% for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just give it time. Get up, go make some coffee, or just do something. You know, get some exercise, get out of your fucking chair, or whatever the case might be. Just let it finish. Once it's finished, your settings will be applied to your machine and you can jump into a game. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash that motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below, leave me some feedback if this actually worked for you. And ladies and gentlemen, I will always be here to help you guys out as best I can. As soon as season 2 gets released or new updates come out, I will be making a new video. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, smash the motherfucking like button if this worked for you. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, hope this helped you, and peace out.